He chose me to go and receive them, not cry out, to search and to help them, relieve them with God's mouth. He chose me to go and receive them, not cry out, to search and to help them, relieve them with God's mouth. He chose me, even through my wickedness. He chose me, but I'm glad He did. He chose me to go out and teach His will to repent, teach Him not to sin. He chose me, He chose me. Yes, He did. Yes, He did. Seeking and reaching and teaching, teach elevation, no seeking. I remember when a time when I was asleep, Christ had followed Him, so I must be His sheep. So I hearken and His word I will keep.
All right, so I want to go into another question here for the brothers that be going out passing out flyers to make sure they got the correct understanding, because one of the other brothers used to. Go to Deuteronomy 28. Make sure y'all understand, because we all used to use this when I first started teaching 5 years ago, 5 and some change years ago. Well, this was the understanding that we knew of. That's how we taught it, but this ain't the correct understanding now. Read verse 54.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall lead.
Now you read that with our own understanding, you automatically think, oh, that's black on black crime right there. That's Hispanic on Hispanic crime. His eye shall be evil to his brother and his children, he's going to leave. Well, that's talking about single parent households. That's understanding we got if you isolate just that scripture. But it tells you once you read on. So let's go to the prophet. We'll come back to this right here. Remember, this is a prophecy if we commit a sin. Go to Jeremiah 21 verse 1 on down.
Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 1. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur, the son of Mishael, and Zephaniah, the son of Mishael, the priest, saying,
that's Maaseiah.
Maaseiah, the priest, saying, Inquire, I pray thee, of the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, maketh war against us. If so be that the Lord would deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us. Then said Jeremiah unto them, Thus shall ye say to Zedekiah, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of this city.
That's the part I want right there. Read that verse again.
Jeremiah chapter 21 and verse 4. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of this city.
So it says that Nebuchadnezzar was going to besiege you without the walls. Does brother know what without means? Without the walls. Does any brother know? Ephraim. What's your son's name? He got his hand up. What does without the walls mean? Hey, that brother got understanding. Hey. All praises.
Hey, all praises, man.
That's exactly what it means. Hey. Outside.
These kids want to tell you.
Damn.
That's why Christ says you better humble yourself as little children. They understand. It says, which besiege, means surround you outside the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of this city. This came upon us for our sins. So let's go to that happen. Because when we read the books of the prophets, this is what they are prophesying during this time of our history. So 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, First Chronicles and Second Chronicles is more detailed history of First Kings and Second Kings. It's just more detail what the scribes wrote down. So read 2 Kings 25 and 1.
2 Kings chapter 25 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his hosts against Jerusalem, and pitched against it. And they built forts against it round about.
So they built forts against it round about the city. They surrounded, besieged the city. Read on.
And the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah.
All right, start right there. So did y'all pick up on how long it was besieged, surrounded? How long was it? Does any brother know? We just read it. All right, Onias, how long was it?
2 years.
2 years they surrounded the city. And this is what happened to those 2 years. Read verse 3.
And on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city.
So they surrounded the city. No food came in. No food went out. No trading with nothing. You wasn't going out to the fields, reaping the harvest. None of that stuff. So whatever food that was in the city at that time, that's what you had to live off for 2 years. Because if you came out, you was going to get put to death. So it says the famine prevailed, meaning it was no more food nowhere at all. Lamentations chapter 4. We're going to read verse 4 on down. Lamentations is Jeremiah's writings. He's lamenting, crying out in sorrow of what he is seeing and experiencing. Lamentations 4 and 4.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 4. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth with thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets.
So those that was living good at first, they was living real good. Read on.
They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom.
Read on.
That was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her.
So why is the sin greater? Why is the punishment greater than Sodom and Gomorrah? He explained it to you. Brother Yuri, why was it worse than what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Because Sodom and Gomorrah was wiped off the face of the earth.
Sodom and Gomorrah was wiped out instantly, but this is like a slow, dragged out punishment.
Slow death. They starved out till they die. That's why he gonna describe what he see going on. Read on.
Verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow.
That purer than snow does not mean that they was white. It means they was holy. Read on.
They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies.
That means healthy. Read on.
Their polishing was of sapphire.
That's how we know that's not talking about they was red skin. Sapphire is what color, brothers? Any brother know? It's blue. So they wasn't red and blue. So that going into ruddy, because the common thought is, oh, David was ruddy. That means he was red. No, that means health. It's the old dictionary that Deacon Ivan got. You can't find nowhere where ruddy has the definition meaning healthy in body. All right. The polishing was of sapphire. Read verse 8. So that's how they was at first. Verse 7. Now let's
their
read
visage.
Visage.
Their visage.
Their appearance. That's what visage means. The way they looked.
Their visage is blacker than a coal.
That's how we know the Israelites are black people.
That's right.
No shadow of a doubt. Can you give me that picture, Officer Judah? We'll come back to it, of Jewish people, concentration camps, starving. Has anybody ever seen? I know we get well fed over here. That's why we got a lot of different lust here in this captivity. Does anybody know what happens to dark-skinned people that get dehydrated or lack of food? What happens on nights? It's something else too that happens when they got cancer.
Get dark.
Get dark. Get real dark. That's how when some of you who used to be smokers used to have purple lips. Because you dried out your lips, smoked out. And when you see somebody like, oh yeah, he's smoking. Off top, you knew. That's what happens to us when we get dark. Right there, that's it. View image. So this is Jewish people in those concentration camps when they was starved out. Photoshop, but they was starved out. They didn't get darker. You see their bones, you can see their bones and stuff, right? You can see all of that. So read verse 8.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 8. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones.
Their skin cleaveth to their bones. Show that picture again. Don't we see those is Edomites? Skin cleaving to the bones, right? They sure the hell ain't blacker than a coal. So that's how we know that they ain't the real people of the book at all. So it says their skin, oh, you take it down. So now we back to the point of Deuteronomy 28. What that means, it says their skin cleaveth to their bones, starving out. Read on.
It is withered. It has become like a stick.
Read on.
They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field.
They died slowly. Read on.
The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children.
They have boiled their own children for starvation. Read on.
They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people.
There we go. Read verse 11.
The Lord hath accomplished his fury. He hath brought out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and hath the foundations thereof.
So go back to Deuteronomy 28 now. And now we're not going to start at verse 54. We're going to start off at verse 50 and read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 50. Verse 50. A nation of fierce consonants, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
A lot of times we just result this right to Esau, the British, and the Spaniards, but these curses happen over and over and over again. Every time we see him, the Most High punished us. We know.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
When we just read in Lamentations, we're talking about they pined away because they didn't have the fruits of the field. We don't.
And the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or the flocks of thy sheep, until he hath destroyed thee. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until the high and fenced walls come down.
So who besieged us, brothers? We just read it. Who was it, brothers? Nebuchadnezzar. We don't.
Wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body.
Now you can precept Lamentations, what we just read it. 4, or it was maybe 10 or 11. You was going to eat your own kids. He told us this when we came out of Egypt. We didn't believe him until it happened. Same way now, we on the streets prophesying this place is going to be destroyed. Nobody's going to believe him until the bomb drops. And it's too late. Too late. Judgment has already been set. Read on.
Verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
Now that was the first time happening. How many times was Jerusalem surrounded and we ate our kids? How many times? Brother Naeem. Who was that? Get the microphone so everybody can hear you. I want these brothers in the back to hear it too. To new brothers.
I'm happening in 70 AD with the Romans.
With the Romans. 70 AD with the Romans. What the Romans did, when you look up the history, they digged a pit. Esau took it to another level. Because that's his blessing, war, right? So he digged a pit around the city. And it was a pit from the wall to the ground. And in between the walls and where the ground picked back up after they dug, it was dead bodies in between them. You come out of the city, they kill you. Throw you in the pit. So the city was surrounded by dead bodies, all down there in the pit. That's when the Romans did it. They starved us out until they broke in and took over the whole place. That was 70 AD. Christ prophesied about that. Read verse 54.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you,
the good man, that's what it means, tender among you, he's a good man. Read on.
And very delicate.
He's a good, real good man. He don't hurt nobody. Read on.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
How is his eye evil toward his brother? How did they survive from dying? Can a brother answer that? How was his eye evil toward his brother now? Because he's a good man, but now he's looking at you crazy. Tabor.
They stole the food from each other. You gotta be children.
There you go. He didn't share his kid. When it was time to boil the kids and chop him up and divide them, he ate all of it himself. But he's gonna say that. Read on.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave, so that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children.
He give his wife no food, he give his friends no food, his brothers, nobody. The kid that died, because little kids gonna die out first. They got less body fat. He didn't share it with nobody, so nobody else can survive it. He was worried about himself. Read on.
So that he would not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates.
Read on.
The tender and delicate woman among you.
You might have thought it was just a man. You women was eating kids too. You know how people be thinking, be like, I would never do that.
Yeah.
You ain't never starved for real. To the point where you looking at things, you see a little kid walking around, he look like a damn chicken bone. You start thinking crazy. So the tender and delicate woman among you, read on.
The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, but delicateness and tenderness.
So the women were so delicate and tender, so royal. It was like y'all was walking on air around there, God said. But you got caught up in your pride too, Isaiah 3, right? Snatch that hair from you.
In tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege, and straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
So the man and the women, first thing that went was the kids. Both of you was eating. So that's what that means in 54. When you isolate just that scripture, you would think it's talking about black on black crime, but it's actually talking about the prophecy of us being surrounded and cut off and having to eat your kids for the sins that you was in. Now, we just read now what captivity. Who was that Nebuchadnezzar was besieging? Who was he besieging right there? Who was it? What kingdom? That's it. What kingdom? Brother Jehovah. What kingdom?
Southern Kingdom.
Southern Kingdom, right? And that Southern Kingdom consists mainly of who, Brother Jehovah? Who was in the Southern Kingdom at that time?
Judah, Levi, and Benjamin.
Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Exactly right. So Northern Kingdom might be like, whoa, I might want to watch out. Well, guess what? God got y'all too. Let's go to that in, I think it's what, 2 Kings chapter 6. Verse 24 on down. Because he got the Northern Kingdom too for their wickedness.
2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 24. And it came to pass after this, that Ben-Hadad, king of Assyria,
king of Syria, not Assyria, Syria,
king of Syria, gathered all his host and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold.
A donkey's head, read on.
Was sold for 80 pieces of silver. And for the 4th part of a calf of doves dung for 5 pieces of silver.
What is dung, brothers? Crap. Feces. He brought you down to eat that for a snack. Read on.
And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee?
He's like, woman, I'm going through the same thing you are. How can I help you? I ain't got no food either. Read on.
Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress. And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we bore my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had hid her son.
So the northern kingdom, he was eating kids too. Most High got y'all at different times, so nobody escaped the curses of God. When he set judgment on you, it's going to happen. And I want you to understand, it's going to come again. Second Esdras. These days are coming again. Why do you think Esau making so much, what's that stuff called? Processed GMO food? It's not enough to go around for all the people, so you got to mechanically make it, right? Give me a second here, let me find it.
Hey brothers, when you go back to 2 Kings, right? Officer Elisha, can you read 2 Kings again, verse 24?
2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 24. And it came to pass after this, that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts, and went up and besieged Samaria.
Alright brothers, how you know that's talking about the northern kingdom? But nonetheless, what's the precept?
Shalom leadership. It's Isaiah chapter 7 verse 9.
Right, get it. Let's get it.
Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 9. And the head of Ephraim is Samaria.
Samaria, right? So when you go back to verse 24 of 2 Kings.
2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 24. And it came to pass after this, that Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, gathered all his hosts, and went up and besieged Samaria.
What's Samaria?
Ephraim.
The head of Ephraim, the northern kingdom. And you know that's talking about the northern kingdom specifically.
All right. Good precept. All right, so like I said, remember I said it's going to happen again, right? So a lot of people out here playing games, living, because it says something about living delicately, right? And those that live delicately in Lamentations, now they bones or skin cleaves to their bones. It's like a stick. Go to 2 Esdras 16. 2 Esdras 16 and 12.
2 Esdras chapter 16 and verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
Now, brothers, we went over this before. Can an arrow be shot to the other side of the world? No, it cannot. So what is he talking about? The arrows that shall be shot, Yael?
Talking about the missiles.
The missiles. Read that part again. Read verse 13 again.
2 Esdras chapter 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
And his right hand, who's the right hand of God, brothers? Christ. Read on.
Is the right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth.
So when them buttons get pushed, they're going to hit the exact target that God wants them to. Because Christ is navigating them things. They hit America. Babylon the Great in the Bible. Read on.
Behold, the plagues are sick, and shall not return again, until they come upon the earth.
Read on.
The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again.
So what God is telling us, there's no president you can vote for, there's no city councilman, there's no marching, there's no protesting that you can do that is going to stop the end from coming. We've been doing that forever, right? We've been protesting, we've been marching, we've been feeding the hungry, we got counseling for everybody, we got they got NATO for world peace talks. They're doing everything to prevent the end. And it's not going to stop it. Once it goes out, it will not return again. Read on. Let's see what Ezra said about that.
Woe is me. Woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?
Whoa. Destruction. Who's going to deliver me in those days? So what's Ezra telling y'all? He's going to be doing what in the last days? Brother Yuri. What's he going to be doing in the last days? What y'all pick up?
That means he's going to be here.
He going to be here. He said, who going to deliver me in those days? That means you come back over and over again. Read on.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death.
I told you it's going to happen again. He said it's the beginning of famine. The beginning of what? Great death. Read on.
The beginning of wars. And the beginning and the power shall stand in the fear.
Those are talking about nations are in fear. Read on.
The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
Read on.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be away mindful of the scourges.
So what's going on is that this stuff is happening. We see it happening because we understand the prophecies. People don't care. We was just out there today. Ain't nobody worried about what we saying in the car. Trump bombed another country for bombing their own self. What kind of sense does that make? I'm going to bomb you because you bombed yourself. He said it's another agenda. We don't know. I know the agenda. I know the agenda. But he says, all this stuff, he says, it still ain't going to be mine. They ain't going to make no amendments. Verse 21.
Behold, victuals.
That's talking about food. Read on.
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth.
So he's listen to that. You ain't gonna know that this famine and this destruction is on its way, because you can go to the McDonald's and get a dollar. You get what's that? McDouble. You can go to Checkers and get the dollar menu. Other thing, you go to the store and get on sale bread during Passover week. It's gonna be real cheap. But he said, woe is me, because the famine is coming. Read on.
Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
They think everything's all right. Ain't stuff cheap out here right now as far as food? You get it at the right time, you get stuff on sale, right? It's cheap. Especially if you go to, where y'all shop at? Where Northern Kingdom shop at?
President.
Bravo. I shop at Bravo. Sedano's.
Western beef.
Diaz.
Western
Food time.
Levi be selling food cheap too, right?
Yeah.
He won't say that. He want me to read on. Let me read on. All the Samaritan's like, read it.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down.
So, like I said, that what we read about being cut off, besieged, and all of that, food being scarce, that thing is happening again. Google a missile, image missile. Now, there you go, right there. That's it. Click on it. Yup. Now y'all see that, right? That's an arrow, right? We also call it flying swords, right? You took that by the handle, right? This is what he sees. If he look at this shit, I take that by the handle. That's a sword for what you type in. That's exactly what he saw.
Hey man, this Bible is the truest book on the earth, man.
Let's go back and read that thing again. The second Ezra.
Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
Oh, it was arrow. Go ahead. Oh, because another one says sword. It's a flying sword. Okay, give me an arrow. Go ahead, read that.
So, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth.
They begin to be shot. There we go. Bam. That's what he saw. Right there. Yup. Go back to the missile. That's to keep it aerodynamic.
Right.
That's what he saw. Man, I'm telling us, man. That's crazy. The Bible's a true book. But the plagues are coming, but that's what that's talking about. Let's understand. All right, cool. Y'all brothers got any other questions?
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you've noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates on all our YouTube channels. Shalom.